Did you believe that blogging is dead? If so, note that it is alive and well. So stay tuned to discover 3 compelling reasons that you should be blogging. So, welcome to the Biz Success in 15 show. I'm your host, Cindy J, the Visibility Wiz, and I'm here to guide you as you step into who you are with outrageous confidence to get more visibility, influence, and profits. Be sure to get your visibility checklist at visibilitychecklist.com. And today we're speaking about 3 compelling reasons to blog. And if you thought blogging was dead, it is not. It is alive and well. So consider the past history. First, there was storytelling. Like there has been storytelling from the dawn of time. People would sit around, the cavemen would sit around the campfires and tell stories. And then they would pass those stories on to their kids. And the storytelling went on for generations and generations and generations. And then along came the printing press. And now people started to learn to read, and they could actually read something at their own convenience. However, for quite a long time, only the elite could have access to this. So the elite people would read these stories to other people, to youngsters and the community. And then along came the printing press. And a whole new world was open. Everybody could read. People started learning to read, but everybody could read. They could read newspapers. They could read pamphlets. People started creating books to tell their stories, and they could read these. And then along came the phonograph. That was in 1877. The phonograph was just another way for entertainment, education. It was another way to consume content and to share stuff. But it did not take away the printing press, and nothing has ever taken away storytelling. And then came the radio. Whenever the radio came along in 1900, it didn't destroy the phonograph. Phonograph was still popular, and people could utilize both of them at different times. And it definitely did not take away the written word. It did not take away books and people liking to read to consume information. And then by 1955, over half of Americans had television sets. So let's say this introduced video. Well, that video did not take away the audible radio and radio and phonograph. And it did not take away the printing press. It didn't take away books, the writing. People still enjoyed reading. It was a great way to consume information. Whenever computers became popular in many households in the 90s, it was all written word and people liked it. And in time, some of the things like magazines and newspapers started losing subscribers, but they still to this day have subscribers. There are still physical print magazines and newspapers. However, they knew that they had to go over to the computer to deliver their written content. And a lot of people every day consume written content in the form of magazines and newspapers, as well as blogs. And then whenever we got the smartphones and technology's really advanced over the past 20 years or so, now video is so easy. Anybody can hop on and they can create a video. And, with the huge success of reels like on TikTok or on Instagram, people start thinking, hey, I don't need to blog no more. Blogging's dead. Blogging used to be back in the old day, but that's not true. Reading, having the written word is still a compelling way for a lot of people to consume content for education and entertainment. So therefore, if you're not blogging, you're putting money on the table. There's 3 compelling reasons to blog. And before I get to those, I want to share some interesting statistics about blogging. 77% of internet users read blogs, and that's according to Social Media Today. 77%. And I couldn't find anything that said how many of those percent of people utilize social media as well. But that shows you that people aren't only consuming video on social media. They are reading blogs for information, for entertainment, for education, to pass the time by. They are reading blogs, 77% of them. And 80% of bloggers report that blogging has increased their sales. And that's according to Orbit Media. 44% of buyers say that they typically consume 3 to 5 pieces of content before purchasing from a brand. So what is that content? Why not add blogs into that content to give more ways for people to experience you, for them to get to know, like, and trust you, for them to know what you're all about? Because they might see your blog and then they might hop over to your social media and they might see some of your social media posts. They might see some of your videos, but the more they can experience you, the better chance you have of them becoming a raving fan and a buying client. Only 40% of marketers have a written content strategy. And that's according to Content Marketing Institute. Only 40%. That's like less than half. So are you in that 40%? And if not, maybe it's time you hop in there and you start sharing written content to help expand your reach, to help your visibility, influence, and profits. Report Linker states that between 2023 and 2027, that the global content marketing industry is expected to grow by $584 billion. And 75% of the public prefers reading articles under 1,000 words. That's according to Contently. So it's time for you to start blogging, just from those statistics, for people to get to know, like, and trust you, right? It's all about them trusting you. It's trusting that you can help them solve the problems they have. And the more ways that you have for them to consume content, the easier it's going to be for you to build a business of your choosing, to build a business that gives you that freedom lifestyle that you'd like to have. So here's 3 compelling reasons for you to start blogging. Number 1, it increases your visibility, like across the board. And don't think that you have to be creating different content for different types of media. You can create a blog post. You can repurpose that blog post and create several videos out of it and several reels. You can also create several pieces of social media from it. So now you have your blog post on your blog, and you have all these other pieces of content that you can spread throughout the online world, and that's going to increase your visibility. It's also going to build your credibility. Whenever people see that you have different forms of content, whenever people see that you have written content, blogs, how-to blogs, or story blogs, or whatever, it's going to build your credibility. And 3, it adds value to your audience. You know, I know that there's people out there like me. If I'm trying to figure out how to do something, I don't want to watch a 10-minute video to figure out how to do it. I'd much rather scan a blog and then find the point that I want to know and do that. How about you? Would you prefer watching 10-minute video, or would you prefer scanning written content? Therefore, it's really important for you to start your own blog for more increased visibility, more credibility, and to add more value to your audience. This week, your 15-minute challenge is to consider how you can use the content you already have if you don't already have a blog. If you have a blog, consider how you can utilize it in other places. But if you don't have a blog, consider 5 or more categories that you can create that your audience would be interested in. And then find content that you've already created to fill in, to give you ideas and topics to repurpose it into a blog post. If you're anything like me, you could be on social media and somebody might have asked you a question and you could have written a 500-word answer to them telling them how to do something. That's a blog post right there. So take 15 minutes and consider how you can add blogging to your content strategy. So whenever you're writing a blog post, keep the following in mind. You want to keep it under 1,000 words. My blog posts are typically between 500 to 750. You want to use 5 to 7 graphics. Now, this is new. If you look at my blog posts, most of them only have 2 graphics. But I guarantee you, I'm going to start using more because studies show that using 5 to 7 graphics increases your viewership and your likability by 50%. So that's a huge increase. You want to tell stories. Don't just state the facts and nothing but the facts. The more that you can add storytelling to your blogs, the more successful you're going to be. Use numbers. People love numbers. 3 ways to do this. 3 myths about that. The number 1 strategy that works. The number 1 mistake that most people make. 10 steps to this. Or lose 10 pounds in 30 days, right? So it doesn't even have to be weight related. It can be how to get 3 clients in 30 days. But the more you use numbers, the more interesting it's going to be to your viewers. And repurpose your content. Don't create a blog post and forget about it. Ask yourself how else you can repurpose it. What little tidbits can you put into social media? How can you create a video out of it? How many videos can you create out of it? So repurpose your content. So be sure to tune in next week for another episode of Biz Success in 15 for you to step into who you are with outrageous confidence to get more visibility, influence, and profits. Remember to go to visibilitychecklist.com and grab your own visibility checklist. Big hugs. Have a great day. Bye-bye.